कैसे हो भाई बहनों आज हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं रोब्लॉक्स के बारे में a children's video game ladies and gentlemen. You know what at this point when we talk about virus investigations it's really just like the top fails in some capacity. Now ladies and gentlemen, Roblox, I don't have to remind you, is one of the largest meeting hubs for a lot of younger individuals who just want to play video games with each other, do a little adopt me, whatever video game flavor of the month, some Squid Game action. Maybe they want to explore the Walmart metaverse. But usually when it comes to Roblox, it's all about being safe, okay? Now, I remember the last time we looked at Roblox, there was a Roblox does very little, in my opinion, to safeguard their audience. Okay, that's all I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, if I told you the last couple days, over 200,000 accounts would have been compromised on Roblox, that might sound a little shocking. But of course, what if I told you it's actually not really even Roblox's fault? It's actually entirely the user's fault for why. Now, why do I say that? Well, usually when it comes to a lot of data breaches, that's pretty much the fault of a company, right? But when it comes to the actual person who is installing weird, shady software, that's on you, king, queen, whoever you are. Because at the end of the day, all right, you should not download shady things to begin with. Now, chances are you're probably using a web browser, okay, to watch this video. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How many extensions do you have in your web browser? Be honest. You probably got some ad block running. Look, I'm not going to mind, okay? I don't really care. You probably got a bunch of other extensions going on. You know, something to tell you about the weather, maybe a little traffic information. I don't know. Out of the world, there's so many extensions to begin. You know, if you go to the Chrome web store, I'm usually a Firefox user, so I'm going to go for the Chromey boys. You've got Farmville 2, Volume Master, Tab Manager Plus, Warcona, Cami, Zoom, Honey, whatever. Okay, so of course, all these things add extra functionality to your web browser. Now, of course, when it comes to downloading these applications or really extensions, you have to understand that giving permissions to these extensions allow them to view what's going on your website and capture data that you may not want them to necessarily capture and send off to other servers, okay? So usually when you're downloading these extensions, download proper, legitimate extensions. Make sure they're highly rated. Make sure they're highly updated. Make sure that the people behind them are not shady as hell. So in this case, the actual situation came into one extension known as SearchBlox. Now, SearchBlox was a Roblox extension all around searching all the Roblox servers for a specific player, okay? Whether it be to join their game, find out if they're playing, or actually to trade with them, okay? It was a way for somebody to find a specific player on some side of Roblox. Now, as you can see, this extension existed in numerous ways, okay? It was entitled the same, but of course, it basically popped up on all the web stores just in unison, okay? So, of course, in this case, it was recently taken down because it seems as though that SearchBlox was actually backdoored, and it was stealing the user login and credentials of the various people that play Roblox. Now, of course, when you install extensions, usually they'll tell you the permissions involved. For instance, SearchBlox will tell you it searches Roblox servers for a desired player. But then when you look a little bit closer into it, you'll notice that every time you install services, it'll tell you, hey, it can read and change all the data on your websites, okay, on all websites. It can read and change your data on all Roblox.com domain websites. And usually when you read this, you really have to trust an extension if you're willing to give it that level of leeway, okay? Sometimes it makes sense for things like ad blocking software because it does have to read and change the data on the website. It has to read all the ads and remove them. And sometimes it can make sense for something like Roblox too. But because these are extensions that may not be highly reviewed, you really have to look into them and make sure that they absolutely aren't stealing anything shady to begin with. See, a lot of the popular software has a lot of issues. If they get caught stealing your user data, the trust is going to be burned and overnight their businesses are gone. But for a lot of these scummy search platforms and a lot of these niche extensions, they don't care. They'll get deleted and they'll pop up again in another fashion anyways. Now, in some cases, they were also stealing like Rollimon accounts, which were basically a trading platform. So you can trade things like the Guardian Exile, the Arctic Wanderer, and a Sparkle Time cheese wedge. That's a hat. Sorry, I'm mistaken. Now, of course, what was the backdoor in this case? If you actually looked at some of the code, thankfully provided by Bleeping Computer, you can actually see that there were certain buttons where they were fetching certain domains, such as SearchBlox site, image.png, image.txt. Now, this contained obfuscated code, which then led to people getting their account credentials stolen away. So in certain cases, they were fetching it to another domain known as releasethen.site, r/test.php. And in this case, they were trying to take everything that they could. In some cases, they referenced Rollimon, they checked IDs, user IDs, and they were basically trying to steal as many tokens as they can. You can even see down over here, they were looking for credentials, and so on and so forth. So clearly, they were out there looking to actually steal information. Now, of course, the actual Roblox community decided to deep dive into who made SearchBlox, and apparently it's allegedly an account known as Unstoppable Lucent, who actually had their account terminated on Roblox. Again, I don't know. These are just like wild allegations. But of course, this is the person that's believed to put that code into the actual search plugin right there. So this seems to be allegedly the sole person who caused all the shenanigans on Roblox. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, why people looked at it even further was there was some sussy-wussy trading going on. So if you looked at their actual Rollimon's accounts, like some of the people involved, one of them was like CC font, allegedly. And of course, if you looked at them, they ended up getting banned. They ended up getting removed off of the platform. But if you looked at it right over here, boom, they went dropping down. They were actually taking certain key items. And of course, at the end of the day, the wild ride came to an end. People started looking at the various trades. So you can see like on the 22nd of November, you can see like the trades just spiked up. The various collectibles went up. The value overall on this one account went up. And of course, it all went tits down when, of course, the value slipped to literally nothing, indicating the account was banned very quickly. Now, anytime you've been given the old rectum resizer, if you will, in the terms of computer land, you typically have to start deleting your cookies, signing out of all available login sessions, so any of the cookies that have been stolen off you cannot be used against you. And obviously, it goes without saying, change your passwords, not just on Roblox, on every other site. That means Hentai Heaven. Okay, I don't even know if that site's even active, but you get the point, okay? Change your passwords, delete the cookies, sign out of all the sessions. Because for a lot of people who had their accounts stolen through this back door, the problem is when people have Robux in their account and various key items, all right, those can be traded and sold in the black market or just in general for actual cold hard cash. Roblox is a multi-billion-dollar endeavor, okay? Don't think they got that way without any form of weird shenanigan shop stuff. But of course, that's pretty much how things went down, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, I would be laughing at these situations. I mean, I am laughing at these situations. At the end of the day, this all could have been avoided if people did the extra 5 seconds to make sure that they weren't just downloading random extensions off the internet. Again, for a lot of people who lost their money or got their accounts stolen, think of this as an actual lesson learned in this case. Because realistically, if you're actually putting money into an account, and then you actually have some level of ties to it, okay, like a financial tie, then all of a sudden you're downloading every add-on and extension from God knows where and assuming that it's safe. Just because an extension is sitting there on the Firefox store, the Chrome Web Store, doesn't mean that it's safe. Brother in Christ, Android devices have the Play Store, and every goddamn day there's a new fucking piece of malware sitting on there. You don't believe me? Don't believe me on that one, Chief? There's plenty of games. I'm not even joking with you. There's plenty of there's plenty of generic stuff that you can find that contains some rather sussy shenanigans. Just give it like a 5-second cursory glance. Hell, there's a lot of modern day web browsers that have vulnerabilities found in them every single day. So when it comes to extensions, you really just have to trust what you can download, okay? If something is very low rated, something doesn't have a lot of that trust, if you will, and it's just sitting over there and it provides a super niche functionality like some player search feature on Roblox, which I'm actually questioning if you even needed this extension to begin with, if you couldn't have done that just through the Roblox web interface anyways. So obviously, for the kids and the traders and the various people that downloaded this, you really have to think twice before you give permissions to any extension under the sun. If these things can read and write and access and obfuscate whatever's on your webpage, they can do a whole heck of a lot more. So yeah, this really just came down to a bunch of people losing their accounts simply because of poor practices. And again, the $200,000 user figure that got hacked literally derives from the fact that that's how many downloads for the extension there actually were before Google stepped in and actually blacklisted it. So anybody that still has the extension on Chrome will probably have it removed simply because the extension itself is blacklisted. But of course, for the people that downloaded it, the various 200,000, you've backdoored and given up your credentials by using this. So again, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful. Be very, very careful. But yeah, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. This is how Roblox users got absolutely hacked. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the absolute worst scam on YouTube. One of the worst, if you will. So sign up, tune in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.